Jai Hind students. In this computer period, you are going to learn about SS. As we know, information, it is an important factor to manage our routine activities. Without information, management is not possible. So, to maintain and manage it, we plan for the future. As in the case, information, it is converted form of data, and data, it is in its raw form and unprocessed form which has no meaning. When we are going to convert this data into some meaningful information, it can be easily interpreted. So it is essential to provide a structure to the available data in a computer system. For this, we will use SS. To start with SS, we have to know few things about the elements of the SS. First of all, we will see database. Database, it is actually whatever the raw data we are going to collect. That raw data, if we are going to organize it, then after organizing, it makes us easily enter, manage and assess, also analyze large amount of information quickly and efficiently. This is known as database. So simply we can say it is an organized collection of data. As in the case, suppose I told to get the information about families of in the localities, then what we are going to find out, we are going to get the name of the head of the family, then their wards, likewise the all the family members data we are going to collect separately. When we are going to combine all the data, then the record of that particular person, head of the family, it becomes. Likewise, for whole community, if we are going to get, it becomes the database of that particular community. So data means raw facts and figures which we are getting, we are organizing it in such a way so that it is giving us complete information. Next is your DBMS. As we know, whenever we are going to maintain database, it becomes very difficult to manage it manually, because initially the data will be very less, but if we proceed further, data becomes hundreds, thousands of records, even millions, billions, trillions records we will have. So there will be a chance of committing errors. So to maintain that database onto our computer, to reduce the chances of errors, we use DBMS, database management system. Actually it is computerized record keeping system. Means with the help of computers we are going to keep the records of the database that enables us to create, modify, store and extract information from a database. Actually with the help of DBMS we can do each and every work with our database. We can add fields, we can add data, we can modify the data, we can store the complete database in our computer, and also from that database if we want to get some information we can retrieve it, right? So it reduces the chance of errors and also it saves our time and energy. If we are going to maintain the database through manual way, then we have to work very hard, and in the case of computers all the database it will created, only we are going to put the datas. After putting the datas, they will be processed automatically. Manually processing, some record has been kept in some other register, some record has been put in some other register, we have to collect all the registers, we have to combine, then write into another register. Manual work, it becomes time consuming and energy loss. But in the case of computers, when we are going to use DBMS, it becomes very much easy to keep the records clear and to keep the records in a systematic way. Now if we are going to move towards the database, there are only two types of database. One is the flat file database and second is the relational database. Now we will see what a flat file database and what a relational database is. For flat file database, if we see, it contains records. Definitely if the database is there, it will contain records, right? The records which will have a small fixed number of fields. We cannot take too many fields into this one, and these records will not have any structured relationship. Suppose the example is Microsoft Excel. If we are going to create data of a student's detail in one database, another database in Excel, we are going to create students family detail, students third one, students outside detail. If we are going to combine it, relationship we are not going to make. If we are going to make a relationship, it will not retrieve much more amount of data. So flat file database, it is simply a single database into which we can work with a fixed number of fields, right? And there is no structured relationship. Next is your relational database. Actually, relational database, why its name has been given, we are going to create database. A single database will create so many tables. That so many tables, we are going to link these tables together to get a common piece of information. Suppose I told you the example in Microsoft Excel, students detail, students family detail, students friends detail. If we are going to keep in different tables under a single database, what will happen with that particular student's ID? We can find out from students detail hobbies, from family detail parents name, then from students friends detail, from there who are the good friends of that. Means it is giving you the example. From different tables, a common piece of information we can get after linking the tables with each other. This can be done with the help of Microsoft Access. This you are going to study Microsoft SQL, Oracle. Also they are the relational database. Into this, what happens if we talked about database? So we have to know about the elements of the database. What elements the database will have? Database is mainly comprises of table, queries, forms and reports. So these are the elements of our database. If we see the tables, what table is? Tables, as we can say, suppose you are living in a multi-story building. Each and every family, it is the table. Under that table, the detail of the family has been kept. If we are going to take all the tables of different families in a single platform, that will become a database. So what we can say, for that particular building, these tables are the building block of a database. Means it's the smaller portion of our database. So tables, they are only the building blocks of the database, into which we are going to store data in a structured manner. And what is structured manner? Means data, they have been divided into rows and columns. Here columns, they are known as fields, and the rows, they are known as records. Also they have finite number of rows and columns. Unlimited rows and unlimited columns they are not having. So we can say tables, they are comprises of its different elements, which we will see afterwards. Next is your queries. What queries? Students, as in the case of any of the subjects class, a teacher comes to your class. When the teacher is going to explain some of the topic, the till topic is not clear to you people, what you used to do, you ask question just to make your query clear. Means you make queries over there. Suppose sir has told something, you want to know more about this one, you can ask question, sir how, sir when. Likewise, till when you are not going to be satisfied. So the similar way in our database, queries, they helps us to retrieve the filtered data based on some condition. Suppose in a school, I used to find out how many students whose name starts with A. So I am putting some condition that the student's name which is going to start with A, they come near to me. So what will happen? The students whose name is going to start from A, they will come to me. Likewise, queries are there which retrieves the filtered data based on some conditions. And not only it retrieves the data or filters the data, it also performs deletion, updation, etc. But these deletion, updation, it is done on some conditions or criteria. Actually, criteria is nothing. It is a check we are going to provide in our database. As per that check, we are going to get the data after being filtered from your database. As I told you the example, student's name is starting with A, they have to come out from the row. So only the students with roll number, name starting with A, they will come. Suppose I said students whose name starts with A but whose name ends with P. So all the students whose name is going to start with A and ends with P, it will come. Means I have given multiple criteria. It starts with A and ends with P. Means as per the given criteria or condition, we are going to retrieve the filtered data. That is known as queries. Next is your forms. Forms are nothing. They are the user-friendly interface. As in the case of database, when you will start creating database and tables, you will see that in a simple way you are going to fill the data into your database, right? But if you are going to make a form, to give a beautified look to your form, if you are going to put the data, their relation of queries and tables, whatever the data we are going to put through our forms, they directly goes into tables and queries. So what happens in this case? They are the interface only. As in the case of online examination, for online examinations or for online competitions, you are filling the form over there. They are the interface, but the data is going to store in that particular database whose interface has been created, which is coming onto your screen. So forms are only the interface which facilitates us to process the data to enter inside the tables and queries. Next is reports. If we are talking about reports, they are a printable format into which whatever the data you are going to select from the database, it will be printed on your screen as well as on your paper. Means suppose I am taking the example of your fees counter. The data of each and every student has been kept over there, but I want to find out the name of the student whose fee is due for the month of July. Then I will put a criteria or the condition. As per that, the name of the students with due for the month of July, it will come on the screen. Now I can take, it is generated a report which I am going to take from the printout, so that what will happen, if for a single student 40 fields are there, out of that 2, 3, 4 fields I have selected, and onto that we have generated a report. That report will be printed, which will take less space on the paper, and we will become less confused that what we got. Next segment is elements of the table. As I told you, table directly it is not made. It is made with the help of fields, records and data. What are these things we are going to see here? Fields. They are the columns of the table. Columns means under which the similar type of data we are going to put. Here you can see students, fields are roll number, father's name, English, maths, Hindi. As in the case of under these fields, we have put some data. Data, as I told you, they have no meaning. Roll number 1, what does mean? It can be of anyone. Sandeep doesn't mean. 89 doesn't mean. But I will see the complete record of roll number 1. Record is the row. Roll number 1. Roll number 1. It belongs to Sandeep. Sandeep got 89 in English, 79 in maths and 60 in Hindi. So, if we talk about the elements of a table, it is comprises of data, fields and records. Fields are the column headings under which similar type of data we are going to put. We cannot change, as in the case of roll number, we cannot put the marks of English, we cannot put the name of the students, our father, whatever, we cannot put, because roll number means it will take only the numbers, right, which should be in sequence order, right. Data, individual items which we are going to put under any of the field, they are known as data. And combining the complete fields to get a single piece of information, a complete information, that is known as records. Now students, we have talked about database, DBMS, everything. Why we are going to use database and DBMS? For this we will see few advantages of DBMS. Then I will show you the first screen of MSSS that you will keep in mind. Next session we will briefly discuss about it. Now, advantages of database. Advantages, it is efficient and reliable method of data retrieval. Means DBMS, it provides us the way into which whatever the data retrieving we are going to do, they are efficient and reliable. We can retrieve it in a very fast way, and also they are reliable, because what things we have got getting from the DBMS as per our requirement, as per of the choice we are going to get. Next is data redundancy. Data redundancy means multiple copies of the same data at different location cannot be done, because this is known as duplication of data. As in the case of manual database, if we are going to put manual database in any register, I have written the name of any student, the complete detail. Sometime it may happen at number 2 I have written the name of XYZ student. Sometimes at 95 again we can write about the detail of XYZ. Means multiple copy we can create because it is manual. But in the case of DBMS, whenever you are going to give the second time the same name, it will prompt you. Suppose name of the student may be same, then you are going to put class, section, father's name. If father's name, it is given again name after name, class, section, father's name, mother's name, everywhere it is getting the same, it again and again prompt. Then if the father's name is also same, it will say you. Then you can find out duplication of data has been reduced and we are not going to put that data inside the computer. It also increases the efficiency, speed and flexibility, because in the case of manual database, we have to go to the register, we have to search the page, each and every page for getting the single piece of information. But in the case of DBMS, it is very efficient to find out the data in a very fast way. So they are speedy and efficient and flexible also. Means suppose you have given some condition, immediately you want to change the condition, as per that condition immediate it will give you the result. But in an office, manual work, if the boss is giving the order, you find out the data of this type of person, After finding out the data of that type of person, the boss has said, no, I need this type of data. Then after few time, you will see that you become harassed of the monotonous work. So here in the case of DBMS, it is not anywhere. Sharing of data. From a single location, you can share your data to different locations. Again, for this I am giving you the example of your school. Your school database. It is kept at your fee counter. The same database has been shared to your library. What will happen? If the student goes to the library, he is giving the unique ID of the enrollment to the library sir, that sir, I want this book. After seeing, he is going to issue your book. After issuing your book, next time if you are not returning the book and you went directly to the fees counter, the fees counter person will say that your book is not deposited yet, because data has been shared from the server. It has been shared to library. They maintain the record, and it is also fluctuating at fee counter. They are also getting the information over there. Likewise, data can be shared everywhere. Now, next is DBMS provides us the way of access into which only authorized users can process or access the database. As the example you can see of the bank, we cannot access the server of the bank. For that, the person who have been authorized to access the server, they only can access it, right, by providing their username and password. The same way DBMS, it is also working over there. DBMS, it is giving the authority to the authorized users only to access the database. Next is data integrity. Data integrity, it means while putting the data inside the database, it follows some standards of an organization. For what organization we are going to work and what type of data we are going to feed, as for that standard the data will be accepted. Suppose the maximum marks, example I am telling, you are going to give your maths half yearly examination. It is comprises of 80 marks. Maximum marks is 80. Suppose in database I am going to put 81. What it will say? It will say that maximum marks is 80. It cannot hold data with more than 80 number. So it maintains the standard. It maintains the standard. As per that standard, only the data can be accessed. So for this, Microsoft Access, as I told you in the last class, it is a software which is meant for maintaining the databases, right? So why we are going to use Microsoft Access? There should be some reason. That's why we are going to use it. The first is it is most popular and powerful. Most popular in the sense it is developed by Microsoft and it is used widely across the world. That's why it is more popular and most powerful. Most powerful means among the category of all the RDBMS softwares, it is most powerful, as it serves an integral part of Microsoft Office suite. Secondly, it has graphical user interface, means whatever the commands, options they have been given, they are in the form of menus, right? We are not going to learn the commands. Only to perform an activity we have to click on the different option. It is used to organize and manipulate a large volume of data. Students, nowadays large volume of data it is known as bulk data or big data. It can organize and manipulate, because how these data, they are created in bulk amount. The reason everywhere computer technology is used, for a single click onto your cell phone also it creates a big data, and Microsoft Access, it provides us the facility so that we can handle a large volume of data. Next is, all the data, they are organized in tables. Last time I told you that database, its smallest unit is table. Our table is the building block of a database. So these tables, they contain the data in an organized way, means in the form of rows and columns. Next, MS Access, it provides the facility to create relationship between tables. As relationship means, whenever we are going to use more than one tables in a single database, we can join these database with a common field. With that common fields, when all the tables, they have been joined, they can be used to extract desired data. Next, it prevents duplication of data. Last time also I told you, duplication of data, it means repetition of data. Repetition of data, because it has in the Microsoft Access, sometimes if we are going to put the same data, it prompts us that this data already exists in the database. Then the duplication of data is not over there. While in the case of manual database, same data we can write next time also, but here duplication is not going to be done. Now students, we are, as I told you, it creates a relationship. Suppose this is an example through which I am going to explain you what relationship is. Relationship, here two example of two tables has been given. In one table, roll number, first name, father's name, address, telephone number, date of birth, it is being given. In another database, roll number, percentage and grade is given. Now see, the first database is students information table, means students information we are going to put in this table. Second one is marks table. In the case of marks table, the marks of the students has been put. Now in these two database, we can see roll number is common. So we can create a relationship between these two tables, using a common field, that is roll number. Now when we are going to make a relationship between these two tables, we can see we can retrieve desired data from these two tables. Likewise, so many tables will be there, but roll number, if it's a common field, then we can retrieve a desired data from that different tables. As in these two, suppose I need the roll number of the student, then name, father's name, date of birth, percentage and grade. Then I will, after making a relationship, I will select the fields roll number, first name, father's name, date of birth, percentage and grade. And when we generate the report, what we are going to get from these two tables, from first table roll number, first name, father's name and date of birth has been taken out, and from the second database, percentage and grade. So from these two tables, a report of the student has been created. By this, we are creating a relationship between two or more tables. Now students, today